You're watching France24. It's time now for our daily look at the international papers. Ruben Easy joins me in the studio. Hi, Ruben. Let's start in Turkey, and you've dug out for us some news which could be very good news for President George W. Bush.
Well, yes, this is a piece from the Guardian, the UK daily there. Now, this is quite a worrying story for a lot of people. I suppose it's increasing pressure on the Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan to invade northern Iraq. Now, this comes after increased violence from Kurdish separatists, the PKK. It's a conflict that's been running for several decades, but it's really kicked up in the last few weeks. At the weekend, 15 Turkish soldiers killed in a matter of 24 hours. Now, this has caused pressure to rise, not just from the army. They've been pushing for 6 months to invade northern Kurdish Iraq, but also Turkish nationalists, and now increasingly some body of public opinion wanting to invade and take out some of those separatists.
But do they think that could work, Ruben? What does the Guardian say?
Well, that's sort of the issue. Well, Erdogan himself has always been very sceptical that this could actually could bear fruit, because the Turkish army invaded several times during the 1990s. They didn't manage to crush the rebellion at all. Now, of course, there's also, on the other side, there's strong pressure from Washington, who really wouldn't want them to invade, because this was, it's the one area of Iraq which is, relatively speaking, quite stable, that has some kind of functioning government. So if Turkey were to invade northern Iraq, that would certainly not be good news for them.
So President Bush is urging a little bit of caution there. Well, talking of invasions, Ruben, the English are invading France right now.
Yes, for the first time in several centuries, I believe. This is a piece from the Times, but before anyone calls in, it's only rugby fans, so not too much cause for worry, although one never knows. Now, this is after England's shock victory against Australia, of course, in the quarterfinals of the Rugby World Cup, and this has caused the typical explosion of interest on the other side of the channel. An extra 2,000 tickets for Saturday's semi-final with France went on sale at the weekend. Just to give you some idea, for 2,000 tickets, 3 million hits on the International Rugby Board's website trying to get those tickets. Hotels, travel agents, more or less totally booked up in Paris for that weekend. They're expecting 13 million people to watch it, and possibly most surprising of all, even Gordon Brown, the PM, Scott, has come out and said he's going to support England.
Well, I should hope so. Moving on to the German press now, Ruben, and a bit of a striptease.
Yes, this is from Die Welt. Now, this is not just an excuse to put a photo of a young lady in her underwear on the TV. This is about the return of the venerable art form of burlesque to the German capital. Now, in the 20s and 30s, that interwar period, burlesque was a really popular thing in Germany, but it died off for one reason or another, historical reasons, and perhaps
people got cold.
Sexual revolution. I'm sure they were freezing. But now it's making a big comeback. You can see Dieter von Teese there, popular artiste, in that photo. Now, for Die Welt, the reason for burlesque's success is not merely titillation, but for the writer, they believe it makes you think. I'm not sure precisely what it makes people think about, but it's certainly it's not, there's a bit more art to it. It mocks sort of daily life, and it's proving a big hit. There were 100 burlesque theatres in Berlin back in the 1920s. They're not quite up to that number again, but there's certainly regular shows going on.
And very briefly, Ruben, from the feathers and the sequins to shoes.
Yes, this is from the Saudi paper Ashaq Al-Awsat, in Arabic there, translated this one with a bit of help. Shoes, key accessory for all women, so I'm told. They're saying this year Giorgio Armani has attempted something a bit special. He's trying to bring back flat shoes rather than these fantastic heels you can see there in the picture. Ashaq Al-Awsat believes that they're not going to be a big hit with women in the Middle East, though. They much prefer heels, apparently.
Well, thank you very much indeed for that very up-to-date report from Ruben Easy. That was the press review. Stay tuned to France24.